Welcome to Ladies of Another View on Beck, where you get real news from real people. Today we have Renee and Jan, and of course Patty down on the end to kind of loop us all together.
The caboose, yes.
Anyway, happy Martin Luther King Jr. Day today. A lot of the kids have school off. And so it's just kind of a nice little winter break, I should say. And before we get started with our program, I wanted to mention that over the weekend, Governor Doug Burgum went ahead and removed the mask mandate. And now, in my opinion only, I think he did that because on the 20th, Joe Biden had said he's going to go ahead and require it for 90 days. So I know, Patty, you did a little bit of research on that, so convince me otherwise.
I did. Well, I'm maybe convincing myself too, but Biden spoke on Friday and he said he's going to require the mandate for federal employees and interstate. So if you're crossing, maybe if you're a truck driver and working for the federal government, he's going to require that. And then he's going to apply pressure and strongly encourage local officials to require the mandate. But as we all know, we've been set free of the mask today. And there's also two bills in the North Dakota legislature about mask mandates. So I want to look into it a little bit more and maybe we can have somebody on. But one is so that you cannot do these emergency measures and require people to wear masks. And the other one, I'm guessing if that one fails, that there's a backup one where if you do have to wear masks, that there's least exemptions for people that have reasons not to wear them, a doctor's excuse. I think, and I never hear anybody talk about this, I think if you had COVID already and you had the antibodies, that you should automatically be excluded from any pressure to wear a mask. But that's just me.
But then I think you'd have to carry a health certificate with you. So
but that's what they're talking about. That bill, you'd have like a doctor's permission, or you'd have to carry something, I assume, or maybe just
and it requires you to go to the doctor. It requires you to carry something. You're being branded just like back in the Holocaust days.
Well, just so you know, I have not worn a mask during this whole time.
Nope.
Because you don't have to comply. It's not a law. Mandates are not a law. And as long as you understand that governments are to protect our rights, not to dictate unlawful decrees like King George.
Yeah. All right. So, and that is always a topic that we're going to touch on. Our daily positivity rate is under 4% now, so that's a good thing too. Everyone was worried about this big spike coming after Christmas. Well, first it was Thanksgiving, then it was Christmas, and all these people, your neighbors, your friends, everyone's going to die, and for the most part, everyone is still going strong. I think a lot of it has to do with just about everybody I know, and I kid you not, just about everybody I know has had the virus. So I really think herd immunity is huge in North Dakota, and we are a healthy, strong state. So with that, we're going to move right to our first segment. It's Martin Luther King Jr. Day today, and I wanted to show you First Lady Melania Trump's statement. Today we honor the life of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. and his fearless dedication to the civil rights movement. Dr. King's pursuit of freedom and equal opportunity ensured a brighter, more prosperous future for generations to come. And then we also had a quote from our sister governor, I should say, down in South Dakota. She said, "Today we honor Martin Luther King Jr., and the best way we can honor him is by living up to his ideals, by treating our fellow human beings as he wished, according to the content of their character." So I just think amen to that, right?
I agree.
Yes.
Yep.
Beautiful.
I think, it's sad because when we should be honoring that philosophy, we're starting another 4 years, you can see, of hatred and division, and hopefully we can stop this. The one thing I probably believe in that during the Obama administration, who was it that said, like, change begins with us, or what was that slogan? And that might be something that I agree in, like if we want to unify, it has to start with us and our messaging, and so we're not being jerked by the media.
I found one of the quotes that I had not remembered all the way through, so I wrote it down here. And he said, "We have before us the glorious opportunity to inject a new dimension of love into the veins of our civilization." He worked hard for nonviolent First Amendment rights, civil rights, uplifting and empowering the Black communities, and unification of all Americans. The elite power holders did not like that mass following, though. So there's lots of talk on all sides as to why someone thought that he should not live. And I think that sometimes it's a kill the messenger
Sure, sure.
in order to
Right.
slow down the message.
He was a very strong leader. And I wanted to I looked today in honor of Martin Luther King Day, I wanted to find some new information that I didn't know before. And I was fascinated. Do you know he graduated from high school at 15 years old?
Wow.
And then he went to college and he graduated at 19 years old.
Wow.
Then he went to 3 years of seminary, then he got his doctorate and he was 26 years old.
Wow.
And he was the youngest man ever to have won the Nobel Peace Prize. He was, I think, 33. Let me double check here. And he took the money, $54,123, and he donated it to the civil rights movement. And he was actually 35, not 33, when he won the Nobel Peace Prize. So, and he was named Man of the Year by Time Magazine in 1963. Now, I don't always agree with all their choices, especially of late, but I've always been a big admirer of his because he was an admirer of Gandhi, Mahatma Gandhi, and he believed in peace and love. And I've listened to so many of his speeches, and he always said, don't ever return violence for violence.
Right.
That you have to... Hatred, if you throw that out into the world, it's going to come back at you. But we should be loving and peaceful.
So I have a quote that I wanted to put up because what the segment is running, we're running out of time, but take a look at this segment about education. He said, if we are not careful, our colleges will produce a group of closed-minded, unscientific, illogical propagandists consumed with immoral acts. Be careful, brethren. Be careful, teachers. And I think that speaks a lot because now look at your typical 26-year-old. Look what he had accomplished before he was 26. He did all that.
Yeah.
Now if you're 26, you got to tell them to pull their pants up and get to work.
Right?
I wanted to read a quote, if I could, by him, because we've had so much, we're talking about censorship all the time, and he was big on no censorship. And this is one of his quotes, history will have to record the greatest tragedy of this period of social transition was not the strident clamor of the bad people, but the appalling silence of the good people. And that's what we're seeing with censorship.
Right.
You know, not calling out the evil on all sides. And he was really the first guy, I mean, maybe there's more, but he was big on not, let's let everybody speak.
Right, and it came during an age where we had TV and radio. It was
Yeah.
coming, you know, so
was
that was
new.
the social media
Yeah.
of that day.
That's true.
And even though there was a lot more racism back then, you know, he in his senior class in seminary, he was elected class president, and it was a mostly white class.
Oh, that's awesome.
But he was admired and loved by all.
He
That's great.
mentored
By most.
lots and lots of people
Yes.
of every race. When I was researching this, I found that there are tons and tons of Latinos and Asian and indigenous people. And we have to be careful of our terminology because that's changed from the time that I was 5 until I am multiples of that. but there are many great leaders that have taken the information that he has shared and they've run with it. And that's a positive thing for sure.
Okay, there's one more quote that I wanted to read. I believe that unarmed truth and unconditional love will have the final word in reality. This is why right, temporarily defeated, is stronger than evil triumphant. And so I think if we move
yes.
forward with that, and I think people also need to understand that why, you know, we learned so much just researching it today. Why aren't they doing that in school? Why, you know, for the kids, it's like, oh, it's a long weekend, let's go on a ski trip, or let's do this, or let's go shopping. Educate yourself, educate your children, and we need to come together on this. We'll be right back after these messages on Ladies of Another View on Beck.
Capital City Restaurant Supply is your one-stop shop for quality restaurant products for the large to small kitchens. Commercial-grade restaurant and bar supplies, limb game processing equipment, refrigeration, dinnerware, and smallware. We sell everything including the kitchen sink from trusted manufacturers for the chef and all of us. Open to the public since 1971, we are veteran-owned and North Dakota proud. Let us take care of your restaurant and home kitchen needs today by visiting us at 1414 Interstate Loop in Bismarck or on the web at capitalcityrestaurantsupply.com.
Hi, I'm Dennis Haugen, along with my sons Andy and Mike, and we're showing our support for wind energy in North Dakota.
Wind energy has provided farmers like us with a steady stream of income that's not tied to the weather like crops and cattle are.
Another bonus is that wind farm owners are required to maintain the roads leading up to the turbines. Because of that, oftentimes these roads are the best in the county.
Wind energy is good for landowners, it's good for the land, it's good for our economy, and it's good for North Dakota.
Are you a thrill seeker, sightseer, or day tripper? The Ford Bronco Sport SUV is built for you. Four Bears Casino is giving away a 2021 Ford Bronco Sport loaded with a ton of interior space, safari-style roof, smooth suspension for any terrain, and easy-to-clean surfaces. Qualify now just by playing your favorite slots at Four Bears Casino. Double points on Sundays. Also get in on Super Senior Wednesdays, slot turning Thursdays, and hot seats on Wednesdays and Thursdays. Spin into Four Bears Casino and Lodge for chances to win.
Some things in life are hard. That's why banking shouldn't be. Cornerstone Bank.
Heroes and Icons is now Cozy TV. Don't worry, you'll still get your favorite Beck News programming without changing the channel. Real people, real news, Beck News.
Welcome back to Ladies of Another View on Beck. In this segment, we're going to talk a little bit about Aaron Mostovsky. He was arrested on January 6th at the Capitol grounds. Pull up a picture of him real quick. A very interesting outfit. It seems furs are back in again. But he said a source familiar with the case has confirmed to Fox News that Aaron Mostovsky has been arrested by the FBI at his brother's residence in Brooklyn and will appear before the EDNY magistrate judge this afternoon. He's costumed Capitol rider and the son of a Brooklyn judge. Now, when you look at him, it's like there were so many people that were dressed, you know, just crazy. I mean, just absolutely crazy. And then they come in and they pretend they're a Trump supporter. Now, we have a difference of opinion. We visited a little bit about the segment, whether he is truly a Democrat or not. He is actually a registered Democrat, and he is the son of a New York magistrate in Brooklyn, and he was basically elected by the Democrats. So I'm leaning, yes, he's Democrat. He does have a brother, however, that is involved in a conservative movement. But there's a video that's attached to that. I didn't bring it for today, but he goes on, and if you watch his body language when he's looking up, when you're looking up, when, you know, if you do body language reading, when you're looking up, you're always trying to find something. And so just watching his video, I think he was completely lying. But anyway, his charges were theft of government property, knowingly entering and remaining in a restricted building with intent to impede government business, engaging in disorderly conduct on the Capitol grounds, and unlawful entry and disorderly conduct. So that's what he's nailed on. So it's kind of anyone's guess as to where this is going to go.
Mm-hmm. Well, like you said, it's hard to know because I've read on both sides. Like, it sounds like he could be a Republican, he could be a Democrat. And then I say to myself, okay, why am I getting sucked into this again? Because the media is just like, they are so good at jerking my chain.
Yes.
And then I have to think, okay, what are they really trying to distract us? We know there are people on both sides in the Capitol, okay? Right. So then I'm like, what are they trying to distract us from? And that's what I'm always trying to figure out. Like, if the media is, you know, showing us this, okay, they're trying to distract us from something else. That's how my brain thinks. So who knows? You know, I know that there was a lot of Democrats that voted for Trump. because I'm, in the anti-vaccine group, and Trump had promised to hire Kennedy to oversee vaccine issues. And so a ton of anti-vaxxers came in from the left and the right to support Trump. So it could be that he's a Democrat. I'm not sure.
I don't care if he's a Democrat or if he's a Republican. I think the dude was looking for his 15 minutes of fame and probably found it. I almost hate that we're even giving him any time. All of these people that broke the law just need to pay the piper. And it seems like with history, we always celebrate in the media, at least, all the 3 named people that did evil things. And I don't think that we should name any of these, and the father doesn't necessarily tell the son, hey, go riot in the Capitol building.
No,
you
you're
know,
right,
it's like if my kids do something illegal, I hope that it would be their responsibility, not mine. Once they left my threshold,
Yes.
it was no longer my responsibility.
Yeah.
But call to justice, absolutely.
I'm the one that might disagree. I don't know whether he is Republican or Democrat. There's a case to be made that he really was a Trump supporter. That could be, because a lot of the Republicans in New York they'll register as Democrats so they can vote in the primary elections, because a lot of the general elections are decided that way. And he did speak out on Twitter and on social media in defense of Trump. This is what I think, though, if I'm going to say, okay, what was he? What is a clue to me is the left is attacking him. But Jade Slade, some of the people that are known BLM, Antifa supporters that were at the Capitol, they're silent on that. So the fact that they're attacking him makes me think,
Yeah.
they must really see him as their enemy, or they would not have made such a big deal about him. And I like what you say, like, wait a minute, what's going on here? Like, forget what's going on at the surface level. First of all, why are we attacking parents? It's
Yes.
not good enough that we attack what somebody did. Now we're going to find out, this is how bad the cancel culture is. We're also going to attack their family and their parents. Even if their parents side with us, they're going to pay if their kids do anything against us. And there was, in the Washington Post, there was about a 5,000-word article. How often do you see anything that long? About the son of an Aberdeen, Pennsylvania police chief who bragged about being at the Capitol the day of the riot. They don't even know if he was at the riot. And the whole community is coming out against this police chief, and he needs to do something. And they're posting, like, give me a break.
Seriously.
What does this have to do with him? But they're using what his son did against him. And that is, to me, the scariest part of this of all.
Yeah,
I agree.
Right, and maybe that's where we need to concentrate more rather than right, left. It should be right and wrong. Like
Yes.
what he did was wrong. I mean, he actually picked up a bulletproof vest and put it on. It was owned by the law enforcement. And he also picked up a shield, one of those clear shields for a riot shield. And he was carrying that around in the Capitol. Nobody took it away from him. I mean, nobody told him, hey, you're arrested. He stood in front of these people and did an interview. And that's the part that I think part of this was staged, because there were many, many people in there, but you really didn't see anybody getting arrested. And he was also in that same area, the dude with the horns. He was in that same group, in that same big room. So that's the part that really grabs me, that all of these people are guilty of trespass. At the very least, they're all guilty of entering the building unlawfully. And so that's what we need to concentrate on, right from wrong rather than right from left.
Yes.
Anyone?
Well, I was listening to a Christian ministry who were Trump supporters, and they were there in the front and center. They saw the gates when the police opened up the whatever. They saw all that. They filmed it all, and somebody came up to him afterwards who was telling him they love their ministry and showed him film of them being inside. And they were using all this bad language, and this minister goes, "You're proud of this? Like, you are, professing to be a Christian, you're talking like this, and you're in here breaking the law?" And he was just going, like, what is wrong with you? This is wrong. So it's happening on both sides, and I think, we just need to say enough of this. let's just not let them play each other.
Well, where is the disconnect with everybody that they can't determine what right and wrong are? I mean, they seem like they're trying to blur the lines, like they're trying to make everything a gray area, and that nobody is responsible for their own actions.
Well, that's what they did last summer. Mayor de Blasio in New York was proud that his daughter got arrested. Because even though this was in New York, and there were cars and businesses being torched and windows broken, but he said, well, he believed she was peaceful and he was proud of her. So this is the message that we've been getting for a long time now.
Yeah.
Doesn't make it right.
Oh gosh, and where does it go? Where does it go?
Yeah.
We're going to find out a lot more after Wednesday, that's for sure. But we have some other stuff we want to get to after this message right here on Ladies of Another View on Beck.
Jeez, what a mess. Look at that. There's roof stuff everywhere. It's so embarrassing. Ruins the neighborhood. Come on, humans. Let's get this fixed.
Don't let your roof go to the dogs. Call America's Best Contractors for your free estimate.
Need a new woof?
After checking with the rest, go with the best. America's Best Contractors. 258-2412. Online at americasbestcontractorsincorporated.com.
In southwestern and south central North Dakota, on any given day at any given moment, a Dakota Community Bank and Trust customer is logging in or signing on to do their online or mobile banking. We believe that community banking can blend both the past with down-home customer service in-house and the future with modern banking conveniences and technology for our customers anywhere, like here or here, all while honoring our long-standing tradition of community-first oriented banking here at Dakota Community Bank and Trust.
My wife was diagnosed with early stage Alzheimer's. We talked about it and we kind of decided we'd be a little bit proactive and try to start making provisions. So we started looking here, and Eventide worked out to be pretty much the perfect answer. I guess I didn't expect it to be so nice. The staff here were terrific. We enjoy it.
Beck News brings you real people and real news. Every weekday on KNDB, KNDM, and KRDK. Start your evening with the Dr. Duke Show at 4. Take a fresh look at current events with Ladies of Another View at 4:30. Go down the road with Joel at 5:30. Watch No Apologies with Becker at 9. Cap off your night with No Filter with Debbie at 10. Beck News. Real people, real news.
The professionals at Superior Glass provide residential and commercial glass installation and repair services in central and western North Dakota. Superior Glass is your source for stained glass projects, mirrors, windows, touchless and automated entry solutions. Stop by and see us at 3323 East Broadway in Bismarck or call us at 701-258-5600. Superior Glass, where you get superior service for less. Bye for now.
Welcome back to Ladies of Another View on Beck. We're going to go right into another segment. It's real similar to the last one because I guess the reason I want to keep bringing up the Capitol is we have Wednesday's going to be a big day, and they're going to try to blame a lot of this on Trump supporters, when in fact, for the most part, it was led by Antifa, BLM, and some stragglers, okay? Were there Trump supporters inside the Capitol? Yes, but it wasn't breached by them, is the way I understand it with what I've investigated. Anyway, so here's another one. This is a gal. Her name is Jade Slacker. Just so happens that she's a CNN reporter disguised as a Trump supporter, and that's how she got into the Capitol. And then we catch her on video bragging with a BLM activist, John Sullivan, who was also breaking into the Capitol. So take a look at this video.
Your hug now. We did it. You were right. We did it.
Dude, I was trying to tell you. I couldn't say much.
You were right.
You just have to watch my chat. Is this not going to be the best film you've ever made in your life?
You weren't recording, were you?
I'll delete that. But I didn't record you or me. It was just voices.
So right there, he's trying to cover for her. She wants to be covered. She does not want to be known. Like, if this is the best story of your life, which he said it's going to be for her as a CNN reporter, then why wouldn't you want to be known? Why is this always done in secrecy, that they don't want to be known? I just find it so disheartening and disgusting that this is what we're left with. And if there's any rioting on Wednesday, I mean, what's it going to be? Already they have over 25,000 military people on the Capitol grounds, and they're vetting them. They're going into their background, their history, they're looking at everything, because now they're afraid that some of these people are activists trying to get in there, whether they're Trump activists or left activists. You know, again, it's left and right, and that's the part that bothers me.
Well, again, to me, it's just, it's nonsense to me to watch this, and I just think we need to get past what the media is trying to divide us on. It happened, it's over with. It's going to be interesting to see what happens on Wednesday. My Facebook account was froze, but I can actually still see what people are posting, and I'm seeing some really frightening things coming from my side. Okay, like, people, in my opinion, are they're not in reality. Okay, I am shocked how many people are like, still trust the plan. I'm just like, I've been telling you since the beginnings, don't trust the plan. Okay, this is not a 3D chess game, and they are still hanging on, and it's scary.
I think it is scary. But if this CNN reporter was there undercover, then how many other channels and mainstream media were there? How many others who say they got their video from some of the actual protesters, or what are they labeling them nowadays? Insurrectionists? I don't know.
Yeah.
You know, I just keep thinking that it shows me the deep deception of the mainstream media, and how they are portraying all of this. You know, they keep thinking if they repeat a lie often enough that you're all going to buy it.
Yeah.
And we've already seen the FBI information that's come out that says, you know, this insurrection started 22 minutes before Trump was even done speaking. No matter what he said, he wasn't the instigator, so it takes us down a whole nother rabbit hole. But, you know, we don't have people with high morals in order to follow in a positive way anymore. We used to have Martin Luther King. We used to have Billy Graham. We used to have a lot of these people that had high moral values that would be able to get on the airwaves. I shudder to think if Martin Luther King would be able to get any airtime, or if he'd be censored nowadays. It's just
You know, you're right. You're
That's a
right.
good
They probably wouldn't like him because he's not violent enough.
Yeah.
But, you know, if you look at that video, I saw that video on Friday. I first heard of it before they knew who Jade Slade was. They said
Isn't it Slacker? I mean, am I
Slacker,
saying?
I'm sorry. Jade Slacker.
Okay.
Yeah,
I
you're
wanted
right.
to make sure.
I said her name wrong. Thank you for correcting that. Jade Slacker. The first time I heard of it, they said there's this video, and there was a woman he hugged on it, and he's all excited, and they knew this guy was like an Antifa guy, and they didn't know who the woman was. Well, it turns out that it's Jade Slacker. But if you listen to the conversation, it is so telling. They were excited that it was happening at all.
Yeah, oh yeah.
And he said, I told you. Like, wait a minute, that conversation doesn't fit. If you all of a sudden see something happen and you want to see what's going on so you can report on it, no, they were excited that it happened, almost as if that they were part of that forward movement into the Capitol and believed that they could do this and other people would follow. But the very telling thing like when you say, oh, don't let the media do this to you, everybody, you know, the media is doing this. And they are having an impact. And it's not a unifying impact.
Not at all.
And how are they covering this story? Are they outraged? No.
Yeah.
No coverage at all. But you think, but a son, in two different instances I mentioned earlier, a son of somebody who they think needs to be punished now for what their child did because they went against them. But they don't care what Jay did. This is pretty
I
telling.
would say this, Patty. I wish I could name a name here, right here in this town, a very well-known political person, okay, who knows somebody who was in the Capitol, okay? They've seen the video, and they personally told me, see, we're not covering this either. We could interview, you know, we could do this ourselves because we know that there were people on our side in the Capitol. So that's what I'm saying is I don't want to get sucked into this when it's both sides doing it. You know, I have seen the right do what the left does. And Jan and I were talking about this. I was like, I really think what goes around comes around. And we're seeing what goes around comes around.
But
that's
there's
my
a difference.
opinion.
There's a difference. You're talking about, doesn't matter if it was right or left, they shouldn't be in the Capitol.
Yeah.
Yes, of course.
Yeah.
But the impeachment is based on saying, oh no, it was Trump supporters. And that video says there's something more than right and left being in the Capitol.
Well,
there's something
they
way
have
more
an agenda.
sinister than that.
I mean,
that
we
was
know
happening.
the left always has an agenda. They've always had an agenda. This is what they do. We know what they want to do. We know what their mission is.
But that wasn't reported on.
Yeah,
by
but we don't report either.
But they've also said that there are people in Congress, in the House, that may have been part of the plan.
Oh, I have no doubt.
That they have instigated it as well.
I have
mean,
no doubt.
You know, some of these people knew right where to go, and some of them had to run in fear and be told where to go.
Yeah.
But it still comes back, because I've been to DC several times, and there is a sniper on every single roof, every corner, every door. There are snipers. That's the part that's killing me is, where were these people? That's why I think it was a planned event to get into that Capitol. And I believe it was planned on the left. Were there people from the Republican Party or a Trump supporter in there? Absolutely, 100% there were. But after it's all broken into, it's that herd mentality too. It's like, oh my gosh, this is part of a movement, and let's do it. Let's see if we can get in. But there's just too much information that makes me believe that this was a pre-planned, very well organized event. And that's the part that we need to
And we're never going to get to the bottom of it because the left is going to continue saying whatever they want to say. And that's why, Jan, I really like your point about Martin Luther King and Billy Graham. I used to love him too. I loved both of those men, and that we need those strong voices of leadership because we're not going to be able to sort this all out. So whatever is going on beneath us, all the you know, the negativity, if somebody could just bring that unity and love and preach a strong message that people would listen
Rogers.
to. Mr. Rogers. Oh, Mr. Rogers. Got to see that movie.
I miss Fred Rogers.
We saw that movie. That was such a good movie.
Yeah, we really do need to bring our country back, and it's going to take both sides, all sides, every side. There's just too much hatred, too much going on. We do need to, you know, go back to the 60s, spread love, not war, you know, amongst ourselves and our neighbors and our friends and our coworkers. We've got to be bigger than what's going on. And Wednesday's going to be a big day. It's going to be a huge day, and just pray for peace and no hostility, and that everybody stays safe out there. They deserve that. So we'll be right back after these messages on Ladies of Another View on Beck.
Howdy folks, it's the County Cafe. I reckon it's time you'll do for a hearty meal. So saddle up for the day with one of our hay-bossing breakfast homemade soups. Fill your grill at a salad bar, sink your teeth into our famous County Line burger and barbecue ribs. Top it off with spoon-rattling pie with a calm roll that's sure to put a smile on even the toughest outlaws. Shake the dirt off the boots each night and warm up with the gang. Tell them about it, Stacy.
I can't wait to see you at the County Line.
Since opening in Hebron in 1940, Dakota Community Bank and Trust has been your hometown bank. Our mission has been to provide modern banking convenience with old-fashioned hometown service. We've grown with the communities we serve through year-round events, countless sponsorships, and nearly 7,000 hours of volunteering each year. Learn more about our 80-year history at dakotacommunitybank.com.
Jeez, what a mess. Look at that. There's roof stuff everywhere. It's so embarrassing. Ruins the neighborhood. Come on, humans. Let's get this fixed.
Don't let your roof go to the dogs. Call America's Best Contractors for your free estimate.
Need a new woof?
After checking with the rest, go with the best. America's Best Contractors. 258-2412. Online at americasbestcontractorsincorporated.com.
For the greatest selection and full menu offering is the Four Seasons Restaurant and Ice Cream Parlor in Garrison. Succulent sandwiches, big breakfasts served all day, and delicious desserts. Easy access in and out for campers and RVs. The Four Seasons Restaurant at the top of Main Street, Garrison.
Some things in life are hard. That's why banking shouldn't be. Cornerstone Bank.
Welcome back to Ladies of Another View on Back. This segment, we are going to switch gears a little bit and talk about Bill Gates. And you think about Bill Gates and Dominion and elections and which way to push. This has nothing to do with any of that. Did you know that Bill Gates is now the largest owner of farm egg land in the United States of America? So here's a dude who is a self-professed nerd owning more farmland than any farmer owns farmland. So of course you have to wonder, why is he doing this? He owns over 242,000 acres in 18 states. And this is farmland. We're not talking about forests. We're not talking about conservation. We're not talking about any of that. We're talking farmland. All right. The major states are Louisiana, Arkansas, and Nebraska. But he also owns 25,750 acres on the west side of Phoenix. And what he's planning there is a great big suburb of Phoenix. That's his next goal. And then we look at, well, you know, whose name is this under? It's not under the Bill Gates name. It's not under the foundation name. It's under Cascade Investments. And Cascade Investments also represents Ecolab and Vroom and the Canadian railway system. But it's interesting because back in 2008, their foundation gave $306 million in grants to promote like high-yielding crops and different things. And they're thinking, oh, this is good for us, right? No, I just think it has more to do with taking over our food source and letting someone like wealthy, you know, Bill Gates, go ahead and decide what we can plant, where we can plant it, what to do with this in order to control the food source for the world. This is a global deal. This isn't anything local. This is a global deal that he's working on.
Well, we need like a week of shows to go through Bill Gates because this guy is
Well, wait, he's
scary.
in North Dakota like 3 times or every 3-4 weeks.
Lord.
Maybe we could get him on the show.
Oh, that would be nice.
Wouldn't
Yes.
that be great?
Wow. Oh, boy.
So maybe we could talk to Doug Burgum and see if we could get Billy Boy on.
Oh, yeah.
Wouldn't that be a great show?
Oh, boy. Yeah, you'd have to tie me down.
No doubt.
Well, we could, you know,
you'd have
we
to
could do that,
tranquilize
but
me.
it would be worth it.
Yeah, it would be interesting. But I just wrote some notes down so I could stay on topic here. So I wrote, Gates' ideal world would be that every human being would take every vaccine that comes to market. Your kitchen would be full of all genetically modified foods. Your entire existence will be lab-altered, genetically modified, and synthetically driven. Okay, it goes way back, and I hate to, again, go back to parents, but it is interesting that his dad was on the board of Planned Parenthood. He was a known eugenist. And then you see this guy who has this worldwide power. His goal is to vaccinate every human being on the planet. And now he's going to control our food. But I will say on a good note, no land in North Dakota, I noticed.
Well, you know what's so funny when
No
you
land
talk
in South
about
Dakota.
the vaccines? Because he's also talking about cattle with a larger milk supply.
Yeah.
These people that force vaccines on their kids do not want vaccines in their food. Isn't that, I mean, you know what I'm saying? True. He would vaccinate, or he probably wouldn't want to vaccinate cattle, but he wants you to vaccinate your children.
Oh, I think he wants to vaccinate everything and everybody. You can't grow cattle larger, faster, and thicker and beefier
implants.
without giving them something.
Yeah.
You know, these guys, people say to cut the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation some slack. They do so much good. But I'm thinking you don't condone evil because it has a sliver of good. And the charitable things that these folks do, they are for their own purposes. It's for write-offs. It's for the type of things that just give them personal gain. They have been categorized as predatory philanthropic capitalists. I don't even know if I said that.
Philanthropists, okay.
Philanthropo-capitalists who invest millions into the creation of their do-gooding front for depopulation, transhumanism, and eugenics. So, you know, they get you to give away yourself in everything. And that's the part that's really disturbing. It's that they're working for whatever reason. I'm going to think it's self-promotion, but they're trying to take away everything that we would consider a personal liberty. If you don't want to be heard, they'll cut off your communications. If you try to get healthy, then they will poison your food with Roundup. If you don't want to take vaccinations, they're going to push the governments to make it mandatory. They're doing it all over the world. They try to do farming and call it a good thing in other countries where maybe there was not a good water supply, but here's all the chemicals you can put on your crops to make them grow faster, bigger, juicier, sweeter, whatever. I'm not buying any of the good in anything that these folks do.
I agree.
I go back to the saying, power tends to corrupt, and absolute power corrupts absolutely
everything.
And I don't agree with the Gates. I do not share their philosophy on a lot in life. They're big on population control. They think that's how they're making women's lives in third world countries better, by getting them to become sterilized. But there's reasons they want, you know, they need to stick their nose somewhere else into their own business and out of other people's business. They have a vision of the way the world should be, and it's not my vision. I do not agree with them, and they're involved in everything from Common Core education, which we won't go there, but
Not today.
I don't think anybody here thinks that that's a wonderful program. You know, from vaccines to now they're buying up farmland, and they want to make these super crops, and they want to control higher yield dairy cattle. What is that going to be? I don't know, but I tend not to agree with them, so I don't think I'm going to like their idea of what they're going to do to our crops and our cows. So I don't know. I feel like we're watching this movie where the sinister control, you know, the bad guy is controlling everything, and we need, like, you know, Captain America to come and save us.
You know, you look at back at the time.
Add this. That's right. And then I know I kind of cut Renee off, so we're going to get back to her. It says, it's not entirely clear how Gates's farmland is being used or whether any of that land is being set aside for conservation. It talks about Cascade again, and it's used in a way that aligns with the foundation values. Cottonwood Ag Management, a subsidiary of Cascade, is a member of a Leading Harvest, a nonprofit that promotes sustainable agriculture standards and prioritizes protection of crops, soil, and water resources. So when you think about that and its conservation, it's just, you know, I still think it has a lot to do with he's going to try to control our food supply in the future with all this land.
I agree, no doubt about it. Did any of you remember hearing about Agenda 21, like in the 80s? I read about it, and it was like too much for me. I was like, okay, that is crazy. Deep. Yeah, it's crazy. But now it's changed to like, I think Agenda, and it's very like, it's right there on the government website. You can look this up. This is not some conspiracy theory, and it's all about sustainability, and it's in our communities. And he's very much a part of this whole Agenda 21, which I believe is now Agenda 30 or 31.
2030.
So that's a whole nother show.
Oh, absolutely. We got so much to talk about that. And again, so today we're talking about him just owning way too much land. He's not a farmer. He's not a farmer. Okay. And then I just want to point out, it says he's by no means the largest individual landowner. He is in its top list of 100 top American landowners. Liberty Media chair John Malone owns 2.2 million acres of ranches and forests. Ted Turner has 2 million acres of ranch land across 8 states. And now Amazon CEO Jeff Bezos is investing in land on a large scale. The 25th spot in the ownership of 420,000 acres, mainly in West Texas. And so why is it that all these bigwigs are investing in land? Land is a very good, you know, do they know something about our money going down? Like, is money going to be worthless?
They can control us.
What's that?
If they can control our food supply, they can control us.
Absolutely. And so if we don't have any cash on hand and all we can trade is land, most people don't have land. So anyway, just so much more to think about and talk about. We hope we get you guys questioning some of these things as to why, because there's always a why behind it. But we'll be right back after these messages on Ladies of Another View on Beck.
Howdy folks, it's a Caroline Cafe. I reckon it's time you're due for a hearty meal. So saddle up for the day with one of our Hey Boss and Breakfast homemade soups. Fill your grill at our salad bar, sink your teeth into our famous Caroline burger and barbecue ribs. Top it off with spur rattling pie with a calm roll that's sure to put a smile on even the toughest outlaws. Shake the dirt off the boots each night and warm up with the gang. Tell them about it, Stacy.
I can't wait to see you at the county line.
Hi, I'm Dennis Haugen, along with my sons Andy and Mike, and we're showing our support for wind energy in North Dakota.
Wind energy has provided farmers like us with a steady stream of income that's not tied to the weather like crops and cattle are.
Another bonus is that wind farm owners are required to maintain the roads leading up to the turbines. Because of that, oftentimes these roads are the best in the county.
Wind energy is good for landowners, it's good for the land, it's good for our economy, and it's good for North Dakota.
Capital City Restaurant Supply is your one-stop shop for quality restaurant products for the large to small kitchens. Commercial-grade restaurant and bar supplies, limb game processing equipment, refrigeration, dinnerware, and smallware. We sell everything including the kitchen sink from trusted manufacturers for the chef and all of us. Open to the public since 1971, we are veteran-owned and North Dakota proud. Let us take care of your restaurant and home kitchen needs today by visiting us at 1414 Interstate Loop in Bismarck or on the web at capitalcityrestaurantsupply.com.
My wife was diagnosed with early stage Alzheimer's. We talked about it and we kind of decided we'd be a little bit proactive and try to start making provisions. So we started looking here, and Eventide worked out to be pretty much the perfect answer. I guess I didn't expect it to be so nice. The staff here are terrific. We enjoy it.
The professionals at Superior Glass provide residential and commercial glass installation and repair services in central and western North Dakota. Superior Glass is your source for stained glass projects, mirrors, windows, touchless and automated entry solutions. Stop by and see us at 3323 East Broadway in Bismarck or call us at 701-258-5600. Superior Glass, where you get superior service for less. Bye for now.
Now is the best time to plan for your 2021 farm equipment needs. North Dakota-based Summers Manufacturing is currently offering early order savings. Take advantage of big savings on North America's broadest tillage line, including the Super Coulter Samurai and the innovative VRT Renegade, as well as the best built, best backed land rollers in the industry. Talk to your Summers dealer today or go to summersmfg.com to learn more about early order savings available on all Summers equipment.
Welcome back to Ladies of Another View on Beck, where you get real news from real people. Well, this segment we like to call our lighter side, and that's we like to leave the show with something positive to think about. And right now, it's kind of doom and gloom on the political horizon. No matter what side you're on, it's doom and gloom as far as all the hatred. That's the part we want to stay away from. We just want to, end on a light note and stay light and kind. But so living in North Dakota, we all know that we lack a little bit of vitamin D from the sunshine. Just know that the days are getting longer and the sunshine is coming out, although there's going to be a lot of snow before that happens because calving season is coming up and that's never perfect. But anyway, take a quick look at this, this photo that I had found. It just puts things in perspective. What tubing means in the north and what tubing means in the south. It's one activity, but completely different ways to get there, shall we say.
Application.
Yeah, right, absolutely. So here we are, in the middle of winter. We don't have a lot of snow, which to me, I like snow in the winter because it kind of covers up the, the gray, the gloominess, and brightens it up. But anyway, what are some fun things you suggest doing to stay positive?
Well, when you're talking about staying positive, it's not necessarily fun for me, but when I think of the darkest, deepest, traumatic things in my life that I've had to get over as a believer is, for me, which helps me focus every morning, is reading my Bible. And that is positive to me, and it really, I can tell, like, when I don't read my Bible, I might, attack Mary. Okay. Or I might, So
that's where the word Bible thumper came from. She hit me over the head with it one day when we disagreed. No, she didn't. I'm just kidding.
No. But really, it just sets my mood for my day. And I was looking at a scripture today. Your word is a lamp to my feet and a light to my path. And it really it guides me. And it helps get me focused on how I need to live for that day.
That's awesome. That is really awesome. I start my morning with slow time as well.
Yeah.
But I was trying to think of some of the things that we do during the winter that we maybe don't do during the summer, just to not get in a rut, because that's what happens to a lot of folks. So we get together with family and have card tournaments. We had one this past Saturday. It was a blast.
Jan,
I won $20.
That's awesome. But we have a couple photos that you had sent, so let's take a look at that, and you can talk while these photos go through.
Oh, that is a sunrise out my living room window above my fireplace. Another thing that I try to do is to find something beautiful or positive about the day. So I try to snap pictures of sunrises, sunsets, even the moonrise. That's my backyard.
Pretty. It's like the sky's on fire.
I know, it's a lot of fun. And I share them with my family. Some of them I'll post on social media just because the colors are fun. There's a group of us playing cards.
Someone must not have had a good hand. He's scratching his head or he doesn't know what to pass.
We have to concentrate so hard.
Might be bluffing.
It's a lot of fun. We actually had another couple. So there was even more of us this past weekend. And, we get to talk about all kinds of things. We did the tournaments where we switched tables, and it was really a blast.
And you also like to do food, right? I think we have a couple pictures of the food.
In the wintertime, it's so much fun to cook. I mean, I'm kind of a novice. That's the 16 bean and ham soup that
looks good.
It's just fun to share. I put it into single servings, and that way I can freeze it and share it with my family, or it makes an easy lunch at work. I never try to do something where I'm going to have waste left over. So if I cook, it's always for way too many people, even though there's only 2 of us at home.
Oh yeah.
Always.
Is that your salmon salad?
Yes.
Yum.
We cook once, Or, yeah, cook once, eat at least twice. That's my motto.
Sure.
Well,
nice.
you know, 16 bean soup, I didn't know there were 16 beans. And it looks delicious. And I
So
realize
yummy.
you like to cook a lot, but if you cook well, it'll get eaten, right?
Yeah,
So you won't have
right,
leftovers.
correct.
So true.
You know, I really have been focused on being positive lately because there is a lot that is, it's easy to get you down. And I figured take care of your mind, body, and spirit. So before I came into work today, I went for a cross-country ski for 30 minutes. And you know, the longer I don't go out, the more I don't feel like going. So it's like, okay, I got to get myself out here just warmly. Very invigorating. I love that picture of tubing in the north and tubing in the south. Because you know what? Tubing in the north is actually more invigorating. Yeah, it's nice to sit in the sun, but then you're going to get skin cancer. And here, we're going to get fresh air, and we're going to feel
frostbite.
alive and invigorated, you know. And so I figure, you know, take care of your body and your soul for sure. You know, connect with God. And also, another thing that I've been doing is decluttering. Because if I make, you know, like I say, mind, body, and spirit, but if your mind feels better if your environment is feeling, if you feel good about your environment.
Yes.
If you don't feel good about, you know, this messy closet or bathroom, you know, you're not going to feel good. So do those little things so at least you feel good in your own world and in your own skin.
Sure. Okay, so this leaves us with our last minute of the show where we kind of have our final thoughts. My final thoughts, I went to Deadwood this last weekend, had a great time just kind of getting away. Sports was on here on Friday, so we had Friday off. Spent a great weekend with some gals, just kind of fun to refresh the soul and get away from all of the news and politics.
Oh, that's nice. Well, I'm in the middle of a major renovation in my main bathroom at the house. So it's going to get interesting. So I maybe can report back next week with some pictures.
Oh, I hope you do.
Yeah.
I hope you do. Patty?
Well, I cleaned up my jewelry box this weekend. Try it.
Yeah, awesome.
Awesome. All right. Well, we have a jam-packed week this week. We're going to have some legislators on with different bills that are coming up in the state. So we hope you check back and join us every day because every day is a new topic. Anyway, we'll see you tomorrow then, I guess, on Ladies of Another View on Beck. Thanks for joining.